Here we are, the first Hustler Stream recap on this vlog, and of course we have to start with the big one. Now at the time of this recording, it's early 2023, and to date this was the biggest poker game that I've ever played in. It was a special Phil Ivey week, $100,000 minimum buy-in. Blinds were 100, 200, 400, 800, sometimes more with the straddle. And this actually came from the night before the infamous Robbie-Garrett J4 hand. Anyhow, like I said, this was the biggest game I've ever played in. Before that, I played 25, 50, 100, and the ante-game on Hustler, so close, but never had bought in for six figures at a cash game before. And clearly, when we go over the chip counts, you'll see that I am by far the shortest stack. There was at one point over 3 million on the table, and they could sense, and I made it very publicly clear that it was a shot taking a shot for me, that it was, again, bigger than I had ever played. And the pros there, they're sharks. They knew, they could sense it, I'm sure. So the way that came about was a couple weeks before that game was announced, I had told Ryan Feldman that, hey, I was coming to town. Can I play this day, etc. And it was like a Wednesday or Thursday. Wednesday, I think. And yeah, sure, it was supposed to be just a normal 25, 50, 50, 100 game. And then it was announced that it was going to be the special Phil Ivey week. And I saw that opportunity and I asked, hey, can I play in this? I thought it would be a fantastic experience. Clearly, I knew going into it that the downside would be that I could lose a lot of money, the most that I've ever put on a table before. I did sell a little extra since it was beyond my normal stakes that I play, and went for it. And I just thought, even if I don't win money, it's still going to be a win in a lot of ways. For now, for the stream recaps, what I'll do is I might give an intro to the hand, but I'll show the actual clip from the broadcast with the commentary and real sound in real time. Sometimes I'll cut down the hand, though, if there's a long tank and there's just non-pertinent information. Yeah, I'll condense it for the sake of time in this vlog. And then afterwards, I will go over my thoughts, my input on the hand, and we'll go through the hands in order of how they happened in real time. The stream was pretty long, so I broke this down into two different YouTube videos, so 2 episodes, but the same Hustler stream. So here we are with the opening video montage. As you can see, people entering the room. Well, Phil Ivey, at least, he was the last person to enter. This is the time where before the cards go in the air, we get to socialize and meet. Speaking of meeting, JR here, he's a regular on the high stakes circuit at Hustler. Phil Ivey doesn't really need an introduction. Pretty much most people know him as the GOAT of poker of all time. Dustin, the closer, he's pretty wealthy, he's pretty successful. Check him out on Instagram. Andy Stacks, super nice, genuine dude. Again, a legend in the LA poker scene. Speaking of legends, we've got Garrett, who many consider the greatest no-limit Texas Hold'em cash player. Eric Persson, very entertaining, made quite a name for himself here recently, being a bully, being an entertainer. Ruske, super lovable fun. And then we've got...
Look at this guy, the star of the Max Payne Monday show, DJ Washburn, playing with the big boys here on Nosebleed Wednesday.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. That's quite a leap there from Max Payne Monday to...
Yeah, you are definitely right. And here's the starting chip counts. As you can see, it is a $100,000 min buy-in. I essentially bought it for that. I had 2K extra in my pocket or something, so I threw that on the table. But big stacks here.
D-Gaff, Tuckman in the booth, calling the action. I want to thank you all for joining us here on Hustler Casino Live, brought to you by High Stakes Poker Productions. Playing just a massive Wednesday game, 100, 200, 400, 800, with a $400 big blind ante. And the short stack, by the way, that is DJ Washburn on the right side of your screen, wearing pink today with the Poker is Easy t-shirt.
Let's see if that's true for him.
That is right, DJF and Tuckman. Poker is easy. I got the shirt on now. Yup, we are wearing it proudly, even though well, you'll see the results. So let's get into the hands. Now, I knew going into this, I was probably going to be playing pretty tight. Typically, when I play on these string games, my VPIP is anywhere between 40 and 65. So I play a lot of hands, but in this one, being the fish, the short stack, playing out of my normal means, yeah, my VPIP was going to be low and I was going to be pretty selective. So pretty tight here. You're not going to see me get too out of line until we get this first hand where it's the first playable hand I really get. And here we go.
Yeah, it's not about us. It's about the players every night on Hustler Casino Live.
Yeah. feels a little bit too calm right now. So be kind of right.
We like change for sure. Five all-ins in the first 2 orbits.
Nope. How fitting. First time we get to play together.
Yeah.
There's 4 players in this match.
Washburn getting involved for the first time.
It's on me?
Check.
It's on me, right?
Yes.
1700.
Andy outflops him. He's going to try and win a hand with the best hand for once.
I actually don't know.
So this hand is probably the second or third round into the session. I'm on the button here with 2 red 8s. Great spot to be. Andy stacks, opens to 1200. The 800 isn't on yet on this hand. 1200 from +1 with the Queen 7 suited. I'm on the button here. Probably at a lot of lower stakes games, I might consider a raise, but in this situation, I'm clearly looking to flop some sets, hit some hands, and get settled because I'm still, this is the first hand I've played, so I'm not going to be able to really outplay these people. Plus, I only have 1 bullet, so I call pre-flop with the 8s. It goes 4 ways. We see a flop that comes queen high. Pretty insignificant here. Andy bets. I fold, and that's about it. But it was my first hand to get in and actually get the feel and sense of, okay, I'm putting a lot of chips in. Here we go.
I get to play with him all the time on the casino floor.
What's that? Give him an hour to warm up, or you think he'll just tell us?
7,000.
I'll wait a bit.
So raise from Eric,
There we
3-bet
go.
from DJ. DJ's got everything going on pink.
I missed that.
The Phil Ivey. He's just made the call.
Came to play today.
Yeah, this is, I feel like he's played more hands today than he did the entire show last time.
Yeah, he seemed
It's
a
amazing.
bit disinterested last time.
It happens to the best of us. All diamonds out there, DJ with the queen of diamonds and the overcards.
Yeah, good flop. If he bets it, he wins.
He's going to bet it because 12,000, a little bit over half the pot. And unless Eric wants to do something a little wild, this hand is over.
If Eric thinks that DJ Washburn is scared money, he might do something like this.
37.
And that's the question. Is DJ Washburn scared money in a game this big?
Probably.
Thank you.
Eric would not be making this play against Andy.
Or Garrett or Ivy, right?
Anyone not in pink.
Your wink was better. The flat tire, huh? So that's what the wink means. Jack 4? Flat tire.
Left card.
Are you cold? Not only.
Yeah.
It's tough. If Washburn had the ace of diamonds there,
Running fours? No.
he would just put the money in instead of the queen of diamonds.
Tough spot when you start getting that leveling war in your own mind, in a sense, where you go, well, is he attacking me because he thinks I'm scared money? And then you ask yourself, okay, am I scared money? And then you kind of go to the next level, well, or does he have it this time? And if I lose this, am I out?
Yeah, do I have another 100K,
Do I have another 100K
in my pocket?
Right, I get it. And listen, you play on Max Payne Monday, obviously for a lot smaller stakes, but it's all relative. I know there are players in that game that are scared money.
Yes.
And you attack that.
I try. Lately.
So there you have it. That was the first hand I showed some pre-flop aggression, 3-betting with the ace-queen off there after Persson had opened early. He's got the Jack 4 suited back when it was actually known as the flat tire and not the Robbie one day before. So it was just a good example of Persson trying to state that he was going to be the table captain, that he was going to be the bully. Clearly, he has deep stacks. That 37K to him doesn't really mean too much compared to what it meant to my stack, being a good portion of it. So he really put me to the test there early to see if I was going to be scared money or not. And the commentators were spot on. And yeah, for sure, I was definitely scared money. Didn't have another buy-in, clearly playing higher. So all in all, sure, if that was at a lower stakes game, maybe I go with it. Probably not folding that at, say, a 1-3 game or something, but it is what it is. And yeah, that was a good nod to Persson for understanding the situation, as I'm sure he's done many a times.
Well, what's Garrett? You think ace queen's in the muck?
Ace queen depends on the sizing. Yeah, it could be in the muck. Maybe it pays. I think Garrett finds the good fold there.
Yeah.
When the diamonds come in.
I tend to agree. DJ is going to raise under the gun +1 with Jack 10 suited. Garrett calls. Eric calls.
This time, Eric, though.
It's a little different spot. No promises.
Gut shot for DJ. Bad flop for Garrett. Not even a diamond out there. Oh, man.
All right, you win.
Oh, I thought Eric was going to do it to him again.
It would have worked.
Thank you.
So this is just a couple hands after Persson bullies me off with his Jack 4. I've got Jack 10 suited here, +1. Persson limps under the gun with his 5s, and pretty standard here. I'm going to raise this 4x, so I made it 1,600. And both Garrett and Persson complete. Now, I was pretty proud of myself here that, given how I got bullied the last hand, that I still played this hand how I normally would. I think pretty optimally, that given the action by them just calling, me raising an early position, that flop when it comes ace queen high favors my range the most, that I'm going to have most of those high cards, all the sets, all the pairs, 2 pairs, etc. So even though I just have Jack high and a gut shot, and again, if either of them raised, I'm folding pretty quick, that I still was able to pull the trigger and did it quite confidently. Like, I remember in the moment that I knew that, hey, if they're not raising me pre-flop, they're going to give me respect because that favors my range a lot, and especially. So I was happy that I was able to do that and then still follow through with that C-bet and win the pot. And thankfully, Persson or Garrett didn't come after me again.
Why would he?
That where they went like 12 hours. That was a pretty big game, too. Yeah, it ended up being good.
Friday asking you,
That's what Ruska had.
Ivy asking you, Friday, this is our normal size Friday game. This is even big for a Friday game.
Yeah.
And our Friday games are big, but not quite this big.
You had ace queen of spades.
And are you saying that because the raise came from the button?
93.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, what a hand to pick.
Open on the button. You have a suited Broadway. You have players behind.
I sweated that hand, too.
It's mandatory.
Watching the action.
And this is a pretty standard fold for
All
DJ
right, got me
Washburn.
trying to steal. You win.
Here's me getting taken to school by Sensei Goat Phil Ivey. That's what I get for trying to steal one of his blinds. So in this spot, I have ace 6 off. It folds to me. I'm on the button. Now, in a typical no-limit cash game, when you fold and you have an ace on the button, it folds to you. It's a pretty standard open, I think, for the most part. Now, one thing that I never played in a game that has 4 blinds, 100, 200, 400, 800, straddled, right? The strategy of that, I'd never thought about that. But after going back, watching my hands after the stream, thinking about it, talking to much better poker players than myself, I think the range, especially with crushers and good players when I'm one of the weaker players at the table, that my opening strategy should be a little different. So in hindsight, I should not be opening the ace 6, and you'll see here coming up that me opening out the button kind of on a light range did affect me. That hand's coming up. But here in this spot, yeah, I'm opening up as I would at pretty much any other normal hold'em game. Phil Ivey's got the queen jack suited. The commentary again is spot on. In this spot, it's pretty obvious that he's got to 3-bet here for many reasons. First, the hand, the GTO theory of it is you're going to be wanting to raise there. Plus, the open came from the button, which again, wide range there. Plus, it's me again, the shorter stack, the person that's playing with more scared money. So that all makes sense. Clearly, Phil Ivey is one of the greatest, if not is the greatest for a certain reason. So he comes after that. And yeah, I mean, I wish that I could have gotten in a bigger hand or played this with a little bit more significance against Phil, because it would have been a good story. Like, I can imagine if I would have like 4-bet, and he probably folds to a 4-bet there, but clearly I did not do that. But then at the end, I just show him the 6 of dimes and say I was trying to steal. So that was my only heads up hand that I had with Phil for that session.
Tonight's show is sponsored by WPT Global. Sign up today at WPTglobal.com with bonus code YT81. Dave's taking a quick break. Ruske opens with 3s. I'm sorry. Eric opened. DJ Washburn called and Ruske raised with threes.
I'm gonna get you.
3 ways. This is the selection. Check. Check. All right, everyone checks.
That pre-flop action was a little bit confusing.
Check.
DJ Washburn is now open-ended, also has the best hand. I think it's time to put a smallish bet out there. Deny equity.
12,000.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Same thing, Lucy. Had you. He didn't have his 6s.
Boom, there we are, just casually picking up a little 30K pot, which it felt like a small pot, but obviously at that game, it's small pots are pretty big in relation to the average amount of money. So pocket eights again. This time we win. We had the best hand the entire time. We try to get in there cheap by just limping in after Persson limps in with his ace king off. Then Ruske plays aggressive, bumps it up. Good. We both complete. The way that hand was played pre-flop, that board kind of favors my range there, I would say. Definitely Persson and I board. So after it checks around on the flop, that 7 is a great turn card for me because I could have the best hand, which I ended up having the best hand, but also I'm an open-ended straight draw. So that's definitely a pretty mandatory bet, I would say, after they both check the flop and then show weakness there. So it was nice to then again continue to play like I would play that hand at any stake, and we got a win though. So always good to get momentum and get as many wins as you can.
Wait, 3,800.
Not as big sizing as I thought he might go.
Ruske and Dustin will call, and I think Eric will fold. You never know with him. Nah, he's going to get in there.
He's going to call. He wants to gamble with the queen 5.
A lot of calls.
Look,
Pot
he's got plenty of
16,000.
equity.
4 players.
All right, let's see what happens.
DJ with top pair. Top kicker, plus the ace of clubs to boot.
$15,000.
When DJ goes 15K, he goes pot size bet here.
All right, he's almost back to even.
Let's keep that winning hand train coming. We like it. Here I'm in the straddle for 800 with the ace king. There's a few limps around, and I bump it up. And in hindsight, yeah, I should have bumped it up a little bit more, but just made that error. Did what I did in the moment. So we got a pretty good flop though. And when it comes king high, 2 clubs though on board. So when it Persson checks to me, and I decide I made about a pot size bet here, I wanted to really just state that, hey, I had a good hand here and was willing to get the money in. And if anyone, I didn't want to give them a cheap way to draw it at a gut shot or a 2-pair or set or anything like that. At that time, that I was pretty confident, given the pre-flop action, that no one had a set. Well, I guess the bottom set was possible, but I would find out, obviously. But more than likely, king, queen, they're going to be raising there, even like higher king. So it just felt like that I was pretty sure I was ahead, but certainly did not want to give anything for free. And if anyone was going to attempt to suck out, that they were going to have to pay for it. And it felt good, though, to then lead and take down another pot.
But he's doing better than he was doing 6 minutes ago.
Sure.
When you play
Garrett's stuck the
poker,
most.
do you have kind of a almost just an internal calculator? You know how much you're up or down, or
Yeah.
no? Do you try not to even think about it?
I pretty much, I know how much I'm down. I never know how much I'm up if I'm winning. Look at this. 3-betting the queen 8 offsuit.
I included this hand just to show another example of me opening the button here. And again, in hindsight, trying to get through 4 blinds versus 2 blinds, I think definitely changes the pre-flop opening strategy on the button. And I have 5-6 off, just like I did with the ace-6 against Ivy. I raise it up, try to steal here, and clearly Andy stacks now is the one who's going to squeeze and gets that 3-bet in with the queen-8 off. Again, it really doesn't matter what his cards are here. He's just playing the position and everyone in the hand, which makes sense. Top-tier play by a top-tier player. I end up folding, but I just wanted to show that hand just to continue that story of kind of my button play and rethinking the strategy moving forward, because again, the biggest hand I play in the whole session, the most significant one, happens to be when it folds to me on the button and I open with a marginal hand as well. So
DJ Washburn down about 9,000 on the night, picks up queens. Ruske is going to call with deuces.
Ruske plays on the casino floor often, as do other players from the stream.
Yeah, the games here at Hustler Casino are almost always good.
Asians only.
We have an Asians only hand.
And they're going to look at an ace-8-8 flop. Not exactly the flop you're looking for when you have queens, but we can see that Washburn is way ahead.
Andy has a flush draw. He's going to start betting.
3,400.
Mandatory call here after checking the flop. Ruske will fold. We'll go heads up to a river.
Sean, so I was going to say Sean Yapel in the chat. Sean Yapel is the general manager of Hustler Casino. Always appreciate his support. Give Sean some love in the chat, guys.
Ten high.
Ooh, those ladies, sometimes they're your best friends and sometimes they are not. And I'm not just talking about poker. Fortunately, though, in this spot, we did get the win here. It was the first high pocket pair that I had all night. Pretty standard. So I'm actually under the gun straddle +1. So I'm under the gun technically with the straddle on, but I'm also in the hijack. So early position, I open up. Again, I think at that point, it tells the other players that I have a pretty strong hand or I'm probably not going to be opening in that spot. So queens, we go multi-way. Not the most ideal flop. I am surprised. I looked it back and Garrett was in the big blind, I think, with ace-10 off, and she just folded to the single bet after some calls. So interesting there. Ace-8-8, again, not ideal for queens. I check back on the flop for pot control, and I don't want to get blown off my hand because I still think there's a good chance that I am ahead here since no one 3-bet pre-flop. So as it checks on the flop, the turn, I'm happy to call a bet there and glad to see that Ruske folds, that he doesn't get spicy at all and try to raise or actually have like an 8. And on the river, I'm happy to check it down there where, I'm pretty confident in my hand that I'm good. Or else I probably would have faced that's after Andy checks to me. If he had an 8, he's probably betting big on that river for sure. And at that point, I just don't see anything that he's going to call me that I have beat. And if I bet for value on that river, it obviously leaves the door open for me to get raised, where then I lose my showdown value. So overall, happy the way I played that hand, getting to showdown, and fortunately having the best hand hold up the entire time. Again, a good win for that pot. So at our first cumulative winnings, it looks like all of the big pros are down a lot, and I'm right around even. For VPIP, as expected, I'm at the bottom, and the other ones are pretty standard.
Eric has the advantage of being on his left, and more often than not in poker, money does flow to the left, but Garrett has a pretty tricky way of changing that. This is just a call from DJ, and this going back to what you said earlier on about maybe being scared money. This is probably a hand that most players are 3-betting, especially when the raise comes from the button, right?
Yeah. If this game is 10, 20, 40, 80, he's 3-betting.
Right?
It's 100, 200, 400, 800. He's a human being.
I get it. Hey.
Yeah.
And it's an unfortunate flop for him as he flops top pair, but JR has got the flush.
Garrett turns a pair, but only Rusuke has outs against JR's hand.
7,000.
I wouldn't mind a raise right here by JR.
Well, if he does raise, that should save DJ.
24,000.
Yeah, and JR goes to 24,000, and this hand is likely over.
And this is a spot where he has plenty of bluffs.
Again, great commentary here by DJF and David Tuckman, their analysis on this hand. And yeah, they're spot on. Get that ace-queen off again. Earlier when I had ace-queen off, I bumped it up, played an aggressive pre-flop. Did not go so well for me. So here in this spot, I think I was trying to hit a hand here, kind of disguise it, but play pot control. I didn't want to inflate a pot huge with a marginal hand out of position and then be in a tough spot. You know, ace-queen, again, it looks great, and a lot of times it is, and probably in lower stakes, I'm going to be 3-betting this often. Here in this spot, though, as they said, yeah, I just did not want to commit a lot of chips here without having it. So fortunately for that flop, when it comes ace-high all diamonds and there's multiple ways in, and I've underplayed my hand pretty much on that flop, I don't think I was going to put much more money in there, knowing that I could be drawing dead. And I think one of the biggest mistakes a lot of players make in this game are when they underrep their hand, or they go kind of midway. They don't go super hard with it, but they don't play it passive, and they're somewhere in the middle, and then they put a lot of money in with a marginal hand. In that spot, yeah, clearly with all diamonds, me not having a diamond in my hand, I could be drawing dead or very, very thin. And what kind of run out on the turn and river besides, like, you know, running aces, ace queen, something like that, are going to be good for me. So I was happy to check that flop around. And then, again, like I said, I probably wasn't going to be calling much, if anything. But it made my decision easy when JR there, who flopped a flush, ends up 3-betting that bet. An easy fold for me. Again, in that spot, just try to play safe. And fortunately didn't lose too much on a hand that could have went differently. The next 90 seconds has nothing to do with poker for me, but it's the commentators talking about my DJ career, giving me a little plug, which was kind of cool. And then there's some table talk where I'm talking to Andy and Garrett about my DJing and just different things I do, different aspects of it. And they all, like I said, really good people, very genuine. They take an interest in that. They love music. So just a cool moment for that. If you do have interest in my DJing services, I do live in central New York. However, I travel all over the country, so there's really no travel restraints there. You can just message me or go to my website, washburnentertainment.com, Instagram, DJ_Washburn_. For more information, of course, I can send you more details on what you're looking for.
DJ Washburn is a traveling wedding DJ. Very successful. Did you know that?
I did not know that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
A traveling wedding DJ. Okay,
Yeah.
I like that.
He's one of the few people I follow on Instagram. Someone set that up for me.
I'm gonna check that out. What's his Instagram?
I don't know.
I also don't get a ton of time to
We'll
play.
find out and we'll tweet that out later.
DJing and stuff like that all the time. So,
Does he just do weddings, or can I get him for like my kid's like 10th birthday party?
You can get him for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he's pretty.
Or like my wife's 41st.
Yeah, he's pretty big time though. So
DJing like something you can do like
you better have a few winning sessions before that.
many times a week, or like do you get? Is it like really draining after like one one session? Is it you get?
No, multiple times a week.
You're good with
Yeah, like especially during wedding season. Like I was saying, we were talking to Garrett earlier. If you're not a headliner, festival DJ, TAS Stowe, Aoki, someone like that.
Yeah.
If you're gonna be a professional DJ, you got to go into the mobile world, as in weddings, corporate events, things that you can make a living on. You just won't have necessarily the same fame as say Calvin Harris. Your face isn't on the side of MGM Grand in Vegas.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, you can definitely. I like playing a lot, or DJing a lot.
DJing, yeah.
You'll put his face on the side of your house though, won't you? For that 41st birthday party?
I will definitely do
How
that.
do different types of events.
That
So,
face,
like,
I mean, are
do
you kidding
club,
me?
Do a wedding, do
he's
different
handsome.
corporates.
Yeah.
So it mixes it up because some of them can be very repetitive,
Yeah.
but the feel, the energy, mix it up a little bit. It's good. Keeps it fresh.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So that helps to do 3, 4, 5 nights a week, whatever.
So if I can't get Steve Aoki
You
for
ever
my
DJ
wife's
at all,
birthday
Andy?
party,
Do you have any musical ties?
I guess
No, but
DJ Washburn.
he's the man.
like I admire people that can for sure. I have no.
Big shout out to the Hustler crew, of course, and the players at the table for actually taking an interest in my DJ career and talking about the DJ world. Hope you enjoyed that. With that said, that is going to wrap up this video. So that's going to conclude part 1. However, you can catch the rest of the stream recap and part number 2 also on YouTube. So stay tuned. We've got the biggest hand I play and some other exciting action. And of course, the hand that I go broke on. So part 2 coming your way.